Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy AwesomeisJayell, aka the biggest music artist in the metaverse. And you are now tuning in to SoundRig Podcast, episode 2. And these are my co-hosts.
This is Quentin, CEO of SoundRig, and glad to be here, man.
What's up? My name's Sunny. I'm the COO of SoundRig. And here we go for episode 2.
Okay, and today we are interviewing the talented Theo Scape. What's up, Theo Scape? How are you doing today?
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Man, I am doing wonderful. I am doing amazing. I feel great. Yeah, man, we had to bring you up today, man. You know, we gotta talk about the man behind the music, the legend, the myth that is Theo Scape.
The myth, the legend, yeah. Awesome,
Right,
amazing.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. So the first thing we're gonna do, right? We would like for you to introduce yourself to the people and let them know what you do.
Okay. How many hours do you have? Right. I'm Theo. My basic occupation is hospitality and tourism. I'm into music, though professionally since I was 15 years old. I grew up. I'll talk about the music first. I grew up in a electronic music friendly house. You know, my parents used to have all the vinyls with all the big names back then. Boney M, ABBA, you name it, and all the other more, underground. So I literally grew up with electronic music in the house. I was that kid with headphones that was running to that big JVC hi-fi with the radio, the EQ, the separate PCs, and I would just spend my day there. So during the 90s, when the house and trance and progressive music were exploded, I just wanted in. I liked it, so I started playing at my 14 15. Actually I played at a bar back then. One of my dad's friends used to own it, so that's why I was allowed to go. And yeah, I was good. So I've started my DJ career back then, and a year after I just wanted to learn how this music is made. So I've started having music lessons as well, and the rest is history. I've done a lot of things. Like, I've, sorry, what?
What instruments? You said you started music lessons. Like what were you being taught?
The piano mostly, and the synthesizer after that, which I never finished, to be honest, because I've reached a level that I couldn't take any lessons. I just wanted to do my own thing. So one day the teacher came home, and I'm like, nope, we're done. Yeah, so
you didn't get graded or anything. You just like done some lessons. That was
that's it. No, I'm good.
Yeah, man. That's a true rebel right there. That's good.
Okay, Theo Scape. So how long have you been doing music? I know you mentioned the 90s, but if you had to put a actual year on it, like how long have you been into music as far as creating?
Okay. I would say nearly 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. That's solid, man. That's solid. Would you consider yourself like a veteran within music? Or like what would you how would you rank yourself, like as far as like if you had novice, adept, or veteran, like which one would you choose?
That's a tough question, actually. Well, music is ever evolving. You know, it's nothing that you learn. You don't know 100% like about anything, especially now that you have all these sources. You know, like VSTs. Like you might have like 10 new VSTs every day. So you don't really know everything about music. So I would say that I keep learning. You just what I can say is that I've reached a point that I can put together something nice, something that you can press play and say, oh, okay, that's nice. So that's a big accomplishment, I think.
You know what? I will vouch for that. I hadn't heard of Theo till about 2 or 3 weeks ago when we first met, and he was like, "We'll get to that in a minute." But yesterday, I was in the listen room for the first time. And man, that was an experience. And your track just smashed it, mate. I'm telling you, people are loving it. So I can definitely vouch for your music takes you on a journey
Well,
for sure. And it's old
Sonny,
school.
you haven't heard of me before, man. I thought we were friends.
No, now we put the myth and the legend together.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay. Oh, yeah, man. Cool.
Yeah, man. Speaking of your music, I had the pleasure of listening to your music, and it is amazing. And I'm not just saying that because I'm interviewing you, but nah, it's amazing.
Thank
And
you.
and I agree with what Sonny's saying. It's story, like it's like a melodic techno storyboard. And
Yeah.
so I was listening to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was listening to it, and it's like it's so amazing. It's like he said, it's like you're going on a journey, and
Yeah.
you're just thinking like, where is this gonna take me? You know what I mean? And I dig the vibes, man. I love it. I definitely hear the deep house roots. I hear the house roots. I also hear the progressive in it as well. It sounds absolutely amazing. I can hear it really reminds me of, you ever seen the movie Tron? So the
Yes.
movie Tron, yeah,
Yeah.
I think they did a reboot as well, but Tron kind of gives me that feel a little bit. Um, but yeah, it's amazing, man. It's great. It's definitely the type of music that you go to kind of escape. No pun intended. Theo Scape.
Escape.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's amazing, man. So how did you come up with this style? I heard you saying that you're influenced by the house style, and also you're a DJ as well. But how did you
Hmm.
come up with this specific sound that's progressive, melodic with house roots?
So you nailed both because Theoscape comes from soundscape and escape. So
Right.
Theoscape, and
That's
the second, yes, you can listen to many different musical influences in my music because that's exactly what I want to. It's all these genres that I like combined into a progressive um, platform, if you want. So
yeah.
how did that came to life? My first, sorry,
No,
okay,
I was just gonna
my
say you did
first,
it well. You did it well, bringing them all
let's
together.
say,
Epic.
yeah. So there's another joke that I keep saying is that I don't do small tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask me to do something smaller than 4 or 5 minutes, I can't express. I mean, the build up of my music. I mean, at 5 minutes it starts. At no 3 4 minutes it starts getting shape. So it's like starting a story, saying all the going through the prologue and then stop. And that started my Actually, I have the OG records here. My dad used to play me famous synthesizer composers from the 70s and the 80s, which back then it used to be more like an ambience and a progression without the beats. And I got the melodic part from there, and then I added the progressive sound that I used to DJ and the trance and all of that of this ambience. I've tried to merge it all together, and at least I'm trying, you know.
Yeah. That's fire. That's fire. I definitely hear a little bit of Daft Punk. Did you listen to any Daft Punk by any chance growing up?
Daft Punk, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Legends.
Yeah, that definitely legends in the game, man. Definitely legends in the game. So I also noticed another thing too. I noticed that on your website, it actually says an electric music project on the Cardano blockchain in all major streaming platforms, right? So my question is, are you multi-chain? I mean, which it clearly says you're not. And if you're not multi-chain, why? And why did you choose Cardano?
Okay, so being an exclusive is we are a bit late as music producers. It's a bit early for us to be exclusive. It's a good thing to be exclusive, of course, but right now for us, the biggest, let's say, goal is to attract as many listeners as possible. So right now for us, Web 2 has to exist with Web 3 and Web 3 with Web 2. I hope that what we are doing with SoundRig and all the other guys that are building on Cardano and on other chains will change that soon, because it's a huge benefit for the musicians, because it actually makes it worthwhile for us, because you know, if I would wait for my Spotify plays to make a living, I wouldn't even afford to hold my phone that I'm talking to you right now. So yeah, I mean, the difference is enormous, and I think that the audience, people, they have to understand that, because I don't think that many actually do, that all the major mainstream platforms are not actually good for the musicians. Yes, they might give you exposure, but at what cost?
Yeah, and also just about the cross-chain thing. I mean, we are planning on going cross-chain because I think, as you said, it's kind of a bit early to be super exclusive, but it's also hard to grow your community on multiple chains, because right now there is kind of these, like, the tribal, feelings between chains. But I mean, once we go cross-chain, we're going to give our musicians the opportunity to mint, like, let's say you wanted to mint 100 total, it could be divided to any chain that we wanted or something, so that you don't have that limitation. Because it's just it's not easy to go on different chains, because it's a different process on each chain.
Sorry, Theo, I was to say the main mission is to break down the barriers and to end the tribalism. So by having as a place where whatever chain you've already been on, you can come to and go back to as well if you want. It's like, it's for everyone. That's what the whole box is about.
I don't think that the goal is to have one or the other. The goal is to have options.
Exactly.
Right? But we have to show them that there's something different, there's something better, and it's worth it to build on Cardano or on another blockchain, for example. And trust me, there are people out there that they don't like the tribalism. They know that at the end of the day, the chains have to work together. I mean,
there's pros and cons to each chain. I mean, Cardano's not the one and only, the best chain. Every chain has pros and cons, and
of course,
and that's, I know there's a lot of people who do recognize this, but there still is, enough difficulty that people aren't super cross chain, and definitely that's something that we want to do. But yeah, I'm glad you're on Cardano.
Yeah.
Well,
when
it's
you say
just
Cardano's not the best chain, you might be starting a war after this, man.
what I want to say on this is that just because you built on Cardano, it doesn't mean that you exclude everything else. You just chose a good platform to build. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, and actually, we're seeing that trend move even into PFP projects on Cardano now. There's a lot of projects that aren't even saying, there was the whole debate recently about stop using the term CNFT, and a lot of projects are taking Cardano out of their name, and it's like, just because I think a lot more people are starting to feel or see that, the blockchain's a technology that you build on, and your
True.
business isn't necessarily determined by the blockchain that you're on.
True.
Yeah, like I definitely just wanted to say, I feel like it's weird because Web 3.0 is so new, right? So we got investors, we got investors coming in by way of Web 3.0. We also have artists and musicians, coming in and onboarding into Web 3.0 as well. And I think the blockchain tribalism really comes from people not really being, and I'm not going to say bad investors, but just not being savvy investors. Because if you coming in from a investor's perspective, the investor's perspective is to diversify your portfolio. So when people come in, they kind of grow an attachment to one of their investments, and we're looking like, hey guys, you got to diversify. Like you got to kind of spread it out a little bit. Don't spread yourself too thin, but not financial advice, of course. But
I was gonna say that.
You gotta say that. You gotta say that. You gotta say that. But I'm just speaking about, the standard ideology of investing, period, in general. And people forget that the blockchain is still an investment. You're investing in something if you're building on it.
Exactly. It's business, And when, for example, in real life, when you open a business, you want all kinds of customers.
And it's interesting because in this point, we want the artists to see that when they create something on SoundRig, for their fans on SoundRig, it's an investment. Like they got to understand that what they're putting out is for their current and future fans for them to love and hold on to. It's not like a commodity that they're gonna sell straight away. And some of them will, but obviously if the artist gets famous quickly or whatever, the value of the NFT hopefully will also go up.
I would dare say, and I know that I might be judged, but music NFTs, if they are done properly, they are way bigger investment than PFPs and JPEGs.
Of course,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, no,
I agree.
Totally unbiased, but we definitely agree.
I know, right?
To two artists and then the project owners, but yeah.
So all right, on to my next question, Theo Scape. We're actually going to touch on Web3 since we're already, kind of on the topic already. So basically, what inspired you to come into the Web 3.0 space? Was there anything in particular that inspired you to be like, hey, I should check out this Web 3.0 thing, see what they got? Is there a story behind it?
No, it's very simple actually. I've started investing back in 2016, 2017. I liked Cardano because of the technology and the famous whiteboard with charts and stuff. And at some point, I was browsing Twitter and I couldn't see any music. I could see many JPEGs and PFPs and stuff, and I'm like, okay, where are the musicians? and I could see musicians scattered around, but we didn't have a community. And then it was when I had the idea to create a community actually, and started bringing people together. And I think that was actually that started the whole idea with the music community on Cardano. It was quite simple, really. It wasn't intended.
I mean, dude, I don't know if you know this, but you were actually not the reason I chose Cardano, but your server CNFT Audio was the first music kind of contact I had on Cardano, because I had the idea. I as similar as you, I was an investor, and when I thought of having the project like a music project, I was doing a lot of research, and then I liked Cardano and the technology behind it. And again, I also was like, what the heck? There's like a couple of musicians, but it's so spread out. It's so hard to find people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found your server, and then that was like, okay, I'm gonna, here's 30 different artists that are already doing music. But it's like, that was my first kind of exposure to music on Cardano. And it was really, it's really poetic that now you're on our team.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I had no idea you created CNFT Audio, man. Like as soon as I entered the Cardano space, I was like, where are the music artists? Just like you said. I was like, where's the music? There's no music. Like, what's going on? And that's the first thing I ran into, CNFT Audio. And I was in there. I was like, oh, I knew it had to be a community of musicians somewhere. So I just jumped right in, man, and started talking to people, and met a whole lot of cool people, man. So thanks for providing that platform.
You're welcome. Well, see, the plans for CNFT Audio were to be way bigger than it is now. I had actually plans to turn it into what SoundRig is, but I've started on a different path. I wanted to build the community first, because if you don't have the community, what's the point to have the product? So I wanted to build community first, and then starting slowly going to that way. But unfortunately, when we were picking up and starting doing all the spaces and all the I had plans to put together what the guys at the listening room did with a mixtape. I've even talked with wallets how to disperse all the ADA and stuff. I had everything planned, but anyway, life happens. So anyway, I had some personal issues, family issues, so I had to stop, and it just stopped there. It's frozen right now. It won't go away, but I just need some time to see how CNFT Audio will be, evolved.
Well, there you go, law of attraction, man. You still came to the space that you were going to build anyway. Just that you didn't have to build it. You built the community already. We done the other half, and we still managed to get together. So either way, you're part of it.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I might actually do a show with CNFT Audio.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think that would be dope, man. I definitely think that would be dope. A lot of people that were in CNFT Audio kind of branched off. It's kind of like they created like their mini superstars, like Nito. I definitely seen Nito come from CNFT Audio, and seeing him, I was like, man, he's doing all this amazing stuff. So major shout out to him. And he's one of the first people I've seen in CNFT Audio. So it's amazing, man.
Nito was actually my first foray into music on CNFT or on Cardano, because I was interviewing him for the blog, for the Endmaker blog, because I used to do the copywriting for them. So I interviewed him, and then that's when everything started falling into place. This is before I'd met Quentin. I knew Tobias, obviously, and then I was like, you know what, I've got an idea and what I'm going to talk to you about in a couple of weeks' time. And then obviously went to speak to Tobias, but he was my first window into music NFTs on Cardano. And then, like you said earlier, they were all over the place, but there was no one place, no community, and it was all fragmented and stuff like that. And that's when I knew that, you know what, the path that I'm thinking of is the one. And obviously I couldn't do it by myself. And that, anyway, the rest is history.
Of course
I
not.
guess I wouldn't have it.
Fortunately or unfortunately, you need a team on everything right now.
Yes.
Because yeah, you might actually get it up to a certain point, but when it starts getting bigger, you just can't cope with it. You know, you need a team of like-minded people to go forward, because you know we are all in this together at the end. So
Absolutely,
man. And I was gonna take this opportunity for you to introduce one of the project that you're working with, SoundRig, because I mean you're doing some really cool stuff. I mean, CNFT audio kind of is on the back burner of Frozen, as you said, and you're doing a really, really cool project with us now. Poem.
I'm doing a lot of things with you now. Last time that I've checked, someone offered me a CMO job at SoundRig. So I really hope I really hope this still stands. But yeah, we got an interactive magazine coming. It's 80% ready. It will focus on musicians mostly, like 80%, maybe 70. We'll see. We will have like art, like AI art, one-of-one art, the artists themselves, useful NFT projects that support music. You know, it's gonna be around the musician. Our goal is that the audience actually learn about the musician and their lives and what drives them and their sound and what's the backstory of their songs. You know, get to know the musicians a bit more as they should, because there are people that they know the names, like you said, Nido, but what drives Nido? He has the talent, but you know that story. I think that it's something very, very important for the connection between the musician and the audience, and we don't have it yet. The name of the magazine is Poem, which is an acronym for Proof of Entertainment Magazine. And I'm building it along with Fields Veal and Miss Archella, two very talented individuals that they're actually OGs in the music scene, and they've done a lot of nice things on Cardano. Especially Miss Archella has done a lot of good things in the Spanish Cardano community, and she's the one that she's going to translate the magazine as well. And Phil's gonna do the German. So yeah, well, I've chosen like-minded individuals, as I've said, people that they love music and musicians, and we really, really, really want this magazine to be regarded as a marketing and exposure tool for the musicians. Anyone that wants to be on the magazine, they can just DM us and we can have a chat. You know, it's from the artists for the artists. So yeah, we're really excited for that. And Sadi and Quentin really like the idea, so it's gonna go under SoundRig.
I think that was an underestimation about how much we like the idea, because this was our first meeting together, and he was telling me about the idea, and then obviously the music I knew about, and then when he said I'm from the hospitality background, I done 15 years in hotels as a concierge, so you know I'm from that background. I was like, you know what, chick, this guy is our guy, and in my head I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna text Quentin. So I texted him saying, I think he's our CMO, and he was like, I was gonna say the same thing, and then we just decided to just make him CMO on the first meeting. Like, why not? And you've seen the new logos and how the site has been refreshed with the the branding and everything. This is all Theo, and you've done that in the first week, I think. Yeah, Quentin?
Less.
Yeah,
I mean, like first day. First day. I mean, we were like, yeah, we need an intro for the podcast, and it was like 2 hours later, he had like this insane like graphic, and we're like, or animation, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, man, because when you communicate with like-minded people, you have the vision what these people want and what they will like, because when you like communicating with these people, that you more or less have the same vision. So when you ask me to do something, I already have the idea, like if not 100%, like 70-80%, it's here, you know. So if you have the idea, it takes 1 or 2 hours, maybe a bit more, but you do it fast. It's not difficult.
Yeah, I think most of the things like the intros and all that, I've already got the idea in my head. You already had the vision anyway. So by putting it on screen, it didn't take you that long. But yesterday, I said to the guy again in the listening room, I was like, "Man, this guy just shits glitter. It's like everything he does is just amazing in terms of the graphics and stuff like that. It's like really good, man." So we're very happy to have you on board, Theo.
Yeah,
I'm very happy as well.
All right, Theo. I still got a couple more questions, man. I'm rolling, man. We still rolling. Let's go. Let's go. So we got so my next question is, right, and you kind of touched base on it a little bit, you know, about Web 3.0, but how do you feel about the opportunities that exist within Web 3.0, and where do you see it going in maybe like the next 5 years?
Opportunities. If you know what you want and what you're looking for, there are plenty of opportunities. If you come into the space not knowing and trying to figure out it as you go, you might have a difficult time. And I really think that still it's very difficult for someone to come into Web 3.0. You still need someone that already knows to guide you through. You know, you need a mentor, and that's something that the big guys on the blockchains should actually work on and fix it. How to onboard people on Web 3.0, because most of the onboarding is happening from us, you know, the believers, the investors, the builders, you know. But at some point we will be so busy or that we won't be able to do it anymore. So they have to make a tool for that. There are ways, but yeah, anyway, opportunities, plenty, like unlimited opportunities if you know what you want. The space is still, I mean, it's an infant. When we say we'll still early, it's an understatement. You know, we are creating stuff on this space that they weren't there a week before or a month ago. You know, so yeah, opportunities plenty. You just need to work. You have to put the work. You know, I think that people that they're not used on that, they will just not last. They will just leave. And to be honest, I prefer that, because I prefer the people that they know how to work than the people that they're waiting, you know, for the party to be at its peak, and that, you know, these people that they don't do anything to help organizing a party, and they just show up at 2 a.m. and say, "I know that the owner let me in." Yeah, we don't want it. We don't want it. These people. Well,
the leeches. I know.
Yeah, in my opinion. Anyway, there are plenty of people of plenty of backgrounds. But yeah, where is it going? I'll be very honest. If we don't see adoption, mainstream adoption soon, especially what Cardano does, I think, in my personal opinion, that it focuses a bit more on academia, and that's great. But at a certain point, we should have mainstream adoption, or else whatever we do, it won't go anywhere. We
Well, I
need.
mean,
So what's your best case scenario? We heard your worst case scenario. Now, what's your best case scenario?
Adoption, retail adoption. There are plenty of opportunities. Well-known social media, hospitality, even music, musicians, famous musicians.
And
How much?
and I
How
want to
much?
say we're actually kind of starting to see that now because we got Twitter. Twitter just came out and they said they're supporting NFTs.
Mhm.
You got Twitter. You got Instagram that just announced they're supporting NFTs. We also got Facebook announcing that they're supporting NFTs as well. Do you think these are signs of the transition of mass adoption?
Definitely, definitely, yeah, absolutely. But it still needs a push from the right people. I think that. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Sorry, but yeah, it froze for a sec. Anyway, I think that if the heads of Cardano don't push it, or the big influencers, or the bigger builders, it will never come. You know. And since we're talking about that, I had the opportunity in my life, because I've worked in many big clubs and stuff, especially when I used to stay in England. I had the opportunity to know and uh, open sets for many big names, many big DJs. So I've already started talking with them about Web 3.0, and especially now that I've started on SoundRig, I'm trying to restart these discussions, and I'm already discussing with 3 big DJs that they would be interested to release on Cardano. Actually, I was with one of them. I was talking like this morning. It's not about SoundRig. It's not about Theo Scape. It's about these people to come and start, releasing stuff on the chain. It will help everyone.
Absolutely.
No, and dude, that's like a really good thing. It's not just about us. And I mean, I think music has the potential to actually really, really push adoption because, I mean, um, it's a universal language. Everyone enjoys it, and I think actually coming at music with like music NFTs from the investment point is actually really wrong. And I think how we should be really focusing is as an enjoyment.
Mhm.
You don't need utility with music. Music itself is a utility. It brings pleasure and enjoyment, and you have nostalgia. Like yesterday in the listening room, we were talking. We played your track, and Disguise was like, "Holy crap! That like brings me back to the trance songs and stuff that I was listening to when I was 18." And I said, "Dude, that was exactly what I thought. Like this is what I would have been listening to when I was in college, and it would be like the number one song. Like this is literally is what I thought when the first time I heard Perfect Storm is like this would have been like the number one song.
Well, thank
Uh,
you, guys.
but yeah, it's not just about us. Like it's about building this community with Web3 who can find utility and easily access and onboard and stuff. And eventually, I think in the next couple of months, I think we will start seeing, be it on SoundRig or other products on Cardano, we will start seeing bigger names.
Okay, so let me stop you there. Utility. Okay. Utility, it's a word that it has to be used on specific occasions, right? What I've seen in this space, and trust me, I have a really big experience on business. There are specific people that they take the word utility and they just put it at the end wherever they, it's useful.
It's a buzzword, isn't it? It becomes a buzzword.
Yeah, it's like
exactly.
metaverse. Like that was a buzzverse. Every project.
I mean,
saying.
you don't need utility on everything. There are some things that are the utility.
Yeah, this was the whole idea behind the tunes, right? It was meant to. There's like many different angles to this, but first of all, the music experience. We wanted to put music out there in a different way that it has ever been before. So
absolutely,
that's why the tunes came along, because you get to see the artist before they explode and see the real them with the extra features that they decide to put out. So that's their true personality. Let's say before they got famous, right? And then you have an exclusive one-off thing, or one of only 500 of these tunes. That was one thing. So the musical experience. The second was the delivery vehicle. So like you say, utility has to do something. Well, ours was the fact that it got their music out and gave them a new revenue stream. That's another one. And then also, when you said earlier about educating people and getting them out, onboarding them onto Cardano.
I mean, sorry, Sonny, I'm gonna intervene there. Okay. Having the artists get paid like 70-80% of a song of an NFT, I think that it's a big fucking utility, Yeah. I mean, right now, the for an artist to make $1,000 on major streaming platforms, they have to do something like 300K plays, which is not realistic.
Yeah, we went through it on the last podcast. It's crazy, the numbers, depending on which platform. The numbers are astronomical. I think 1,000. I don't remember which platform, but it was so much. It was like 750,000 listens to get $1,000. And I was like, dude, if you get that many, you're a big artist. If you're getting 750,000 and you're only getting compensated $1,000, that's crazy.
I mean, if you think about it, it's not even realistic for the big artists. For example, for an artist that makes a million plays, it's something like 3K, 3 something.
Right.
No, totally. And I mean,
that's nothing.
It's really like an exposure tool now. I think streaming. It's not.
Wait. I'm gonna stop you there. It stopped being an exposure tool. I mean, right now, for me as a musician, Spotify is everywhere, but it's not only Spotify. And right now, Spotify provides you with what a player which you can find everywhere. You can find like 20 players on your phone right now. Okay, so these guys are making billions out of other people's talent.
Well, I mean, that's the kind of motivation behind SoundRig. I mean, is when we like. Sure. I've never been in the business, but like as an outsider looking in, I'm just appalled by how exploitive the music industry is, where musicians are earning like dismal compensation, and labels and major platforms are earning, as you said, billions of dollars, and it's insane. It's nuts.
Man, this topic right here. This topic right here, man, is definitely a banger. So man, I was definitely going to say right before I left that we have been kind of programmed and trained to think that music or art in general doesn't have a worth unless it's like a famous artist, but that's a lie. You know what I mean? That's a lie.
Absolutely.
And the reason why we've been programmed is because the executives, the music executives and labels have been collecting royalties for artists and collecting all of these massive gains and payments for artists, and artists have not been able to see them for so long that they just start to think that their art is worthless.
It's normalized it. It's normalized it.
Exactly.
It's like in venues. If you go to a venue and you want to realize how that owner is, how educated is that owner, and in what regard they keep, music and the DJ, you will see where the DJ spot is.
Yeah.
If you see the DJ spot somewhere hidden behind, the bar at a corner, the owner just doesn't care. If you see the DJ with a proper booth, they know what music is.
Exactly, man.
Everyone's in a deep thought, like a trance set as they put themselves. I was imagining myself in that club, and I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
Man,
I was literally visualizing it. That was good.
I've actually lived this, so I have a first-hand experience. I've been to club. I've been invited to play in venues that I didn't play, because when I got there, the DJ's position was at a corner next to the coffee machine, and if I had to open my case, I pour some water in it, mix it up, and make a coffee out of my case. And I'm like, no, thanks. I'm not gonna do that. I respect myself,
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like that's one thing that Web3, and that's why I like the unlimited opportunities within Web 3.0, because that's what it has the power to do. Bring the respect back to the artist. You got to think about what's going on. And I'm just talking about art in general, because music is art. If you paint, if you do AI art, whatever you do, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I feel like this Web 3.0 space is bringing respect back to the artist. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, think about Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? Think about the artist that drew that art. And think about how much money and revenue was made from Bored Ape Yacht Club. If you ask, right, what is the most valuable component of the Bored Ape Yacht Club? It's the art.
Yeah.
It's the art. It wasn't the utility. It's still not the utility. It's not any of that. It's the art, because the art is pop culture. You know what I mean? The artists are the ones that bring that, massive appeal of pop culture and create pop culture in general, right? So once that thing becomes a pop culture iconic PFP, that's the artist that did that. The artist created it. You know what I mean? And that show improves that the artists are the ones that's gonna make the mainstream adoption happen. You know what I mean?
But this is also why they're going to try to stifle it, because they know that the next generation is all about the creators, right? And is democratizing what the creators are doing. That's what we're trying to do. And if that's taking the money out of the legacy businesses, then they're going to try to make it as hard for people to adopt it as possible. But if we do it on the grassroots level, this is why I love what we're doing at SoundRig, because the whole idea was to come up from the bottom, and we do it as a people movement rather than go on the corporate side. That's what, like, VCs try to come at us, we're going to be like, no, because we know they're never going to go with our ethos and our vision, right? And the point is to make the creators the center of everything and allow them to get the revenue that they deserve. And, everyone can make money, and you just don't have to be greedy. That's as simple as that. Why do you need everything? Everyone should eat, and there's plenty in the world to go around.
When the artist feels good, safe, and appreciated, it will give you 1,000,000 times more than when you make the artist a fucking workhorse that
Absolutely.
they have to produce just for someone else to do plays and make money.
But the thing is, the people who make the decisions, they don't care about the artists. They've already sold their souls. You know what I mean? It's just like they don't really give a fuck, right? And the thing is, now the tide is turning, but it's up to us to open the eyes of the artists first, because these artists, they're all disenfranchised. They're all sick of being done over by the labels and by the streaming site, which the streaming sites are owned by the labels, which, you know what I mean? If you go up the tree, there's all probably BlackRock anyway. Let's not go down that road.
This is a show of truth and the mystical arts.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but
onboarding the art. Sorry, Quinton, one last thing.
Yeah.
Onboarding the artists from the legacy business onto Web3 and showing them the opportunities that they've got, which they're not being told about, and probably because they're tied through record label or record deal. Sorry. You know what I mean? It's just they've already got. But if we can if they can get themselves out of it and get onto Web3, or one second, I was saying this is going to be the way that we adopt people into Cardano and Web3. People per person.
Record labels and record deals are right now they have no they're nowhere where they used to be. Back then, if you were signing to do a record, it meant something.
It meant something, exactly. Yeah.
You know, you were getting paid.
Yeah, and they looked after you in a sense. They still robbed you a little bit, but they looked after you, and they'll respect for the artists as well. Now it's just like, signing your solo, but these 360 deals, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube all about it, right? It's just they're just literally blind robbing people, and they're just going for some kind of fame, which is not really getting them anywhere in their careers. Careers are getting killed.
Yeah, that's so. It was mentioned before, but we are educated this way, and they educate the youngest generations to, I think that, they don't care about value. I don't know in the world, but the majority or a good sample that I have, they don't care about the value. They are mostly into everything about the show,
Yeah, they just want everything now. No one's willing to put the work in anymore. No one's being patient and like digging in, going through the failures, because that's what makes you as a person. Yeah, failures, learn, experience, and then you grow, and then success will always come. But people just want it now, and it's
failures mostly.
Exactly. Yeah. Shit, if you hear my story, man, I'm telling you, it'll take a long time as well. But there's a lot of shit that I've gone through, done to myself, things are done to me. But the point is, you just move forward. You just keep going until you get to the point where hopefully we are, and we're going to be going even further.
I mean, hey, just look at our mint. I mean, it didn't go perfectly, but there's so much we can learn from it. Like, I'm actually very thankful we chose to do a high number of mint like projects, kind of like seven releases, because our goal isn't to release one. Like most projects, they'll release with one test and then move up. But our goal is to release a lot at the same time and stuff. So this is a great thing. We identified so many problems. Like this mint did not go at all how we wanted, and we fixed it. But the next mint is going to be so much easier because we have to learn from it. And it's such a valuable lesson.
If you didn't do it, you know what I mean? If you didn't do it that way, we wouldn't have learned those lessons.
Yeah, and I mean, it's all a learning process, and exactly, like, people have to understand you're not going to get instant success. You have to put work in, and like, even I mean, our dev Paul, he was saying how he knows some phenomenal musicians. Going back to music, he knows phenomenal musicians who haven't made it because they're not good at putting the work in. They're not good at marketing themselves, at networking or whatever. And I mean, it's all about trial and error. And if you really want to make it and really want to have this, you have to be able to learn from your mistakes, adapt, and put the sweat equity in the sweat equity. Yeah,
sweat equity. Yeah.
Since you've started, you should mention all of our devs, because they did a heroic effort during the mint.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have Paul and Nan did an amazing job, and I mean, Phil from Endmaker was on the line with our devs, I think, for 5 hours, and I think for him,
Wow.
I think because they're in Germany, I think it went to 3 a.m. for them, and I mean,
Tobias as well. Tobias basically he's got the experience of having built the website projects and stuff for Endmaker for the past years. So all the top projects that were through Endmaker, Tobias had his hand on there, definitely. So, but obviously he's got his own company. He's a direct CEO of the agency. So what he did was he came in on the last 3 hours, 4 hours, and just made sure that everything that Paul and Nan had been doing was just watertight as much as it could be with what we had, basically. So that was the only reason why the next day that everything was able to be sold and experienced. Yeah, so they're the devs. We've got 4 main devs. One is by extension at Endmaker.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, not really, but yeah, okay.
But that guy's a fucking hero, man. I'm telling you. Like Philly, like salute to you. Philly at Endmaker, he's the one, man. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. And if you guys want to actually go and mint some tunes, go ahead and log into SoundRig.io and check out some tunes, man, from the artists that launched. You said it was 7, right?
7.
Yeah, we got three artists that we've onboarded from Web 2 or whatever who weren't on chain, and we got 4 musicians who already are on chain, including Theo Scape. With his track Perfect Storm. So I mean, if you want me to just list them off, we got Ill-Defined, T-Rocks, Chin Bees. Those are our Web 2 artists. Then we had Crime Fighters, Theo Scape, Philsville, and with our partnership with Cardano Proxies, we had Acidica, who did the music, and Carda Neon, who did the artwork for their tune. And
big shout out to the Proxies, because they've done an amazing work.
Yeah, no, Proxies are the homies. They're sick.
Oh, talking about Proxies, we had a beautiful surprise this morning when we found out that I think one of the team guys had created a walkthrough tutorial on how to mint the thing. So they saved us a huge job, and it's an excellent video. So we can give a shout out to them for that as well. Yeah. What's the name again?
I'll give a shout. So Cosmic Cuties. He's the Chamberlain for the Ezell Hive, which is like their art community. Yeah. And that's so we've partnered with them. So every month we're going to be doing contests to release tunes, and yeah, he's killing it. I mean, he's doing such good with Twitter promotions, getting the community involved, and this video, like, just out of nowhere, just did this video, and it
we didn't even ask you for it.
Yeah, totally sick. I mean, it's like a 3-minute video, like boom, done, and yeah, just perfect.
Also, if you guys want to check that video out, make sure you click the links down below to get your walkthrough of how to mint on SoundRig.io.
Yeah, and I just want to touch on what Quentin was saying about the artists earlier. If you haven't already done so, watch episode 1. You will see Chin Bees, the trap king from Tanzania, and also Leon as well, El Cam Studio in the UK. And we got a lot more artists coming on as well, for sure. Every episode, isn't it? We're going to have a new one.
Yeah. We should at least one. You know what I mean? At least one new one. Yeah. Q said we're backed up, so it seems like we're booked up, man. So yeah, we got a lot coming. Man. And with that being said, we are winding down episode 2 of the SoundRig Podcast. I would like to send a major shout out to Theo Scape for coming through. Theo Scape, before we get out of here, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, the whole Cardano music community, they are killing it, especially the guys that you said that they branched out and they did amazing things. Those that they haven't and they want to do it, just try it. There are a lot of people to help you. If you want any help, DM me or anyone on the SoundRig team. Shout out to the SoundRig team. and everyone in this interview. And thank you very much for having me.
Respect, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And to my my co-host, Sonny and Quentin, man, you got any shout outs to make before we get up out of here?
Yes, I want to shout out to Disguise and Andrew for the space that they did yesterday with us. That was absolutely insane. I did not expect it. It's the first time I'd been on, and then I was a little bit tired because I'd put the daughter to bed and I was a bit sleepy. And I was like, I don't know if I could do this. So I was like listening. The first track, I think it was Dabby. Shout out to him. That was a sick track as well. And mate, I'm telling you, I opened up a bottle of wine and I think I polished it by the end of it. You might even hear that in my voice towards the end of the pieces. But man, that was insane. So definitely shout out to them. And just everyone that's bought the tunes, that's invested in the artist, that's given SoundRig a chance and gone and actually, you know, jumped in and experienced what we're doing. So from the heart, I'm going to give you a little riff.
Sonny, you crazy, man. What's up, Quentin?
I mean, just to add to that, I want to, you know, all the people who supported us and who are, you know, like actually buying the tunes, especially, thank you. But you know, all the projects that we're working with, I mean, big shout out to the proxies. You know, everyone who's helping us, Endmaker, thank you so much. You know, and this is just the beginning, and thank you for sticking with us and seeing our vision. I mean, just thank you, everyone.
Absolutely appreciate it. I don't know how I forgot Endmaker. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, absolutely.
I got it in there. Don't worry. I got it in there.
You can't shout out everyone, you know?
Yeah. You can't get everyone. Yeah, shout out to Endmaker. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to my co-hosts, Sonny and Quentin. Those guys are the GOATs. Shout out to Theo Scape, man. Thank you for coming through. We definitely enjoyed it. It was a pleasure. It was
another
an amazing
ghost in the herd.
You know, it's Sonny, you the jokester, man. You're a jokester. So yeah, you know, with that being said, this is your boy AwesomeisJayell, aka the biggest music artist in the metaverse. And don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. And we are signing off. And that was our live interview with Theo Scape. If you're interested in checking out Theo Scape's tunes, they are now available on SoundRig.io for 30 ADA, and there's a total allotment of 200 NFTs. And also, I would like to play a sample of one of Theo Scape's songs, which is Eternal Sunrise.